Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Efrain Rodriguez Jr. Show. Today episode, we are gonna take back. We left yesterday as rumors. It is true. It came out that it is true. What they were doing on the Supreme Court, that leak story, and that being a true story. The problem with this is, I was just listening to Dr. Marshall. If you don't know about Dr. Marshall, he's from Texas. And I was, after listening to him, I was, oh God, I'm gonna go back and talk about this again. Oh Lord, have mercy on me. Believe me, I need a drink or two in order to come here and talk about this again, because even my brother told me, hey, when you have a drink or two, you sound more smart than before. Hopefully that's not true. Hopefully. You know, I'm no lawyer. I'm just coming here to give my opinion in this. And I really want to give the opinion on today's mumbo jumbo that is happening, because do you see what is happening behind me? Remember yesterday I was talking about Elizabeth Warren and what she tweeted, and look at what we have today. Even that, I don't think it was for her, but maybe other people have people, and they send the people, they're here, protesting. But I was listening to Dr. Marshall, and it had a lot of sense, because it's like, yeah, this is to be bad, because the public opinion can shift, and there's a lot of people that are doing bully out there. Even that don't want to recognize that, but yeah, there's a lot of people that they do bully, and they start harassing people, and all the long time appointees can be in danger. Believe it or not, there's some crazy people out there, and with this DNH and everything that is going on around us is very, very, it's scary in a sense. So what I was looking on newspaper Primera Hora says on the title, what will it means for Puerto Rico if the Supreme Court revokes the right to abortion? When I was listening to Dr. Marshall, I say, rights? Our rights come from God. Our rights cannot come from a man or law or a king. When I was listening to him, I was like, I really need to come back again and do a continuation video, because listening to him and doing just a little research. I don't do that much research. I sit here probably around, it's 10:20. I did the other video around 10. I sit here around 8. I don't know that much time. But what I was putting things together was, I go back to the Declaration of the Independence on the 1976. Yes, 4th of July. And this, it's very important that we, and I did a video before about this, and this is so important that we need to kind of address these things, because we don't talk about these things a lot. 4th of July, where it has held and holds today that all men are born. If you stop there, you'd be like, yeah, 63 million didn't get the chance to be born. You see, abortion is not in the Constitution. It's nowhere found. So it's not right. So when you listen to the newspaper and I bring back this is completely different. So all men are born equal, but the work of God. That I mention God. Most of the people they're in favor of this that becoming probably atheists because they don't believe in God. They don't believe in God. They believe in the right of the government, and they just kind of create their own church. They believe the almighty government is their God. So it's the way it goes. Sorry if I hurt your feeling. Grow thick skin. With the right to, and the first one out of the three, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So let's go back into what we were reading here, because this question, right to abortion, and then I go back and I'm like, what right are you talking about? There's no right to abortion. There's no right to a woman to do an abortion. And I think I did mention it here before about the body inside your body is not your body. That's why the abortions are, I'm not even gonna look for it, because the abortions are not performed on mothers. They are performed on babies, because that's the way that it is, an act of violence. So, you know, if that doesn't really get you, think about it, because it's gonna get more greedy, because all this thing that is happening right now, it needs to be in the conversation of each one of us, and each one of us needs to understand, like, this cash that we're doing, it is something that is gonna be returning back to the states or the territory, and then they can decide where the constituencies or the people, sorry about that one, kind of butchered that one big time, they going to decide. Like in California, the majority rules towards this, and you don't like living in California, you move from California. Or if you don't like what the DeSantis is doing in Florida, you move out of Florida. There will be another place that will take you in, or Texas, or New York, or Connecticut, or New Jersey, or Dakota, North Carolinas, Tennessee's, all different places. You understand what I'm saying? It is like that. So on the Constitution, if we look at this piece that I just read to you, there's no abortion. It's no abortions. There's no right to abortion. Period. So here, when I go into the Declaration of the Independence, 4th of July 1776, it says that all men are born equal by the work of God, with the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It doesn't get clearer than that. Even I can manage to do that one. So let's just continue what the newspaper went ahead with. And it was in the midst of the yes, after the leak of the draft signed by the Judge Samuel Alito, the constitutional lawyer Yanira Reyes and Amárilis Pagán from Proyecto, Matria, and Tamoa, Vivas from Alerta Puerto Rico present their points. And I was looking at that and I said, well, let me see, who are these people? You see, I got here, I don't know what is going on here. So before I start talking about someone, so I find out they are Christians. So, okay, that's good. But at the same time, when I was listening to what is in behind all this Constitution of Puerto Rico and the case in Puerto Rico that is very, very important is the Pablo versus Duarte Mendoza case, 1980, determined that the provision of our penal code that says that abortion is prohibited unless it is under medical recommendation to save the physical or mental health of a woman, that is protected under the right to privacy. So in Puerto Rico, we will continue with those provisions, with that presentation and interpretation to our right to privacy under the Constitution of Puerto Rico, he commented. So, and this is it's important because that's what I was saying it before, and that's why we had Project 693 in Puerto Rico, because they're trying to kind of like put a slow down into after 22 weeks. Call it as you wanted to call it, you know, restrict or whatever you want to call it. And that is the way that the law becomes the law of the land. You know, our representative or senators put into this, and then the governor sign for it or don't sign for it. The way that I was listening to it on the news, on the TV, is like he might not sign for it, even if they pass on the both chambers. So when I was listening to this one, and also listen and hearing out the arguments that they were saying about this Pablo versus Duarte Mendoza, is that to determine this one, they went back to Roe versus Wade, and they make their case based on that before case. So if the other case get revoked, to this one, we had no precedent. Understand? So it would be like in the air, floating, floating somewhere. And that is very important to know, because this is going to be an argument that now will be discussed to people head on. And in Puerto Rico, what they've been doing is like, well, it's a federal law of the land, we're territory, and they just blow under the radar. And they've been doing that for a long time. Now, if anybody's gonna run for any office, or even if this the janitor on the courthouse, or you know, or the person on the town, the what do we call it? Alcalde, our representative in our towns, then we have now to decide and call themselves in which direction it's going to be. If you don't do that in any debates, people are going to be asking, what is your position? And that's very important. That is very good. That's why since 693 start and all people were making noises for 1%, didn't let it fly under the radar, I said, yeah, that's better. Nah, it's better that you make noise. Because a lot of people need to wake up. Wake up. Mayor. I say alcalde, but it's mayor. So, thank you so much for listening to Efrain Rodriguez Jr. show. I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I'll be back here tomorrow. Hopefully this die down and we can talk about something else. But if this continue and they start making more noise, we're gonna come back and just add to it. From Palma Sola, Villalba, Puerto Rico, Efrain Rodriguez Jr. in Efrain Rodriguez Jr. show. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Take care. God bless.